Live from Sturgis, South Dakota. Full 9-inning matchup, and it features the host 22 Hardhats. With that being said, we say good evening and we welcome at our press box here at Strong Field in Sturgis. Mark Benetti, I do here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM. The AM, and as always, streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Post 22's coming off of a successful weekend. 2 out of 3 against Cheyenne. But they got the last laugh, and they did so in some insane fashion, as I cannot recall the Hardhats getting no hit of that happening. So that was new for this Hardhats club that hadn't seen anything like that, experienced anything like that before. But coach batting 7th is number 30, Jace Caldwell. He is back in the field at first base. Batting 8th is number 25, Ryan Schmidt. He's the backstopper and catcher for the Hardhats. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot is number 10, Carter Deming, and he is out at second base. On the mound tonight for the Hardhats is the young righty Zach Weitzel, who has not come in for a start at all this season. This will be his first start as a Hardhat and his 4th appearance overall. Primarily used in relief this year, Coach Torvey is still trying to figure out, can Zach be called upon to start off a baseball game, or can he be called upon to finish it or relieve in some capacity? So we're still at the early stages of this season where Coach Torvey is still trying to figure out what roles are going to be dealt as far as pitching, but he likes where it's going so far. Zach Weitzel this season has pitched in 6 2/3 innings of work, and as I mentioned, this will be his 4th appearance of the season and first by virtue of a start. He is 1-0 on the season. He did pick up his win in relief not too long ago. He has a 2.1 ERA, striking out 4, walking 5, hitting 1 batter, and he's allowed 4 runs on the season, 2 of which have been earned, and he's done so while surrendering only 4 hits. So less than a hit per inning that he's worked so far this season. Good to see some young success from the young righty. He is going to go up against the Sturgis Post 33 Titans as follows in the bottom halves of our 9 innings of regulation. Leading off is number 34, Brian Duran. He is at the catcher position. Batting second, number 14, David Anderson, patrolling right field. Batting third, number 13, Nick Anderson. Oh, we have the national anthem coming up. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll give you the rest of the lineup shortly. Anthem kind of snuck up on us there, folks. Well, we were at the Sturgis lineup when we got there, so let's go ahead and give you the Sturgis lineup before we give you the defensive alignment. Leading off is number 34, Brian Duran. He is going to be the backstopper and catcher tonight for the Titans. Batting second is number 14, David Anderson, and he's patrolling right field. Batting third is number 13, Nick Anderson, playing at third base. And in the cleanup position is number 4, Josh West. He's out at first base. Batting fifth is number 7, Tristan Walter. He is the shortstop. Batting sixth is number 25, Steve Fisher, and he'll serve as the designated hitter for the Titans tonight. Batting seventh is number 28, Alec Keffler. He is patrolling center field. Batting eighth is number 5, Carl Nash, out at second base. And rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 27, Colby Ulmer, and he is patrolling left field. Number 8, Devin Ottle, is on the mound. taking on the Hardhats for the Titans tonight. Otto will have to face Connor King, the left-handed hitting center fielder, Matt Hegre, the third baseman, and Cooper Bowman, the shortstop, at the minimum here in this top half of the first inning. Coach Torvey, again, looking for his team to hit, looking for his team to execute. And after getting no hit on Sunday, he hopes that that message of clutch offense and key hitting has been felt throughout the clubhouse. And so for his sake, here's hoping that the Hardhats can follow through on that improvement, get some offense going, take a big win, and get ready for rivalry night against Post 320 at Pete Lean Field this Friday night. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Speaking of Coach Torvey, he is out on the field right now, waiting for Devin Otto to finish his warm-up pitches so he can take his position in the third base batter's box, third base coach's box. Well, looks like we are all set and ready to go for first pitch here at Strong Field in Sturgis. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Connor King is about to step in the left-handed hitting batter's box. Our umpire has given the signal that we are good to go. And so here comes King, set to lead off for the Hardhats. King on the season batting .289, 13 for 45 on the year. And the first pitch that he sees is outside for ball one, and we are officially underway at 6:55 tonight. 1-0 the count here to King. Otto full windup, and the righty deals to the lefty. A called strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. We have just started this ball game less than a minute ago. Otto the full windup. 1-1 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-2 now to King in the leadoff position for Post 22. Otto agrees on a sign. Full windup. 1-2 pitch to King. It is swung on and missed. Strike three. And that is strikeout number one on the first batter faced for Devin Otto on the mound for Sturgis. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on offense. Now brings us to Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Hegre comes into this matchup batting .242. Right-handed batter. First one in the lineup here for the Hardhats. Otto fresh off the strikeout. First pitch. Misses low and inside. It's ball one. Hegre is 8 for 33 on the year. He's walked 5 times. He's struck out 9. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and missed on a high pitch. And the count evens up, and now out a ball and a strike. No one on the base path here for Hegre. 1 out in the top of the first. We just started this ball game exactly a minute ago, maybe a little over. Here comes the 1-1 to Hegre. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to left center field. Alec Keffler shades to his right. He was pretty shallow, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So that's 2 up and 2 down for the Hardhats on offense, and that'll now bring us to the stand-up stop, Cooper Bowman. Bowman batting .319 on the season. Among qualified batters, he is number 2 on the team behind Jack Sorensen in the cleanup spot. First pitch from Otto to Bowman. Misses low and away. It's ball one. Bowman on the season is 15 for 47. He has doubled 6 times. 5 ribbies. He struck out 7 times compared to 5 walks. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on. Ball's popped high in the air. Into the infield. Coming in from short to make the catch, calling everybody else off, is the top half of the first. The Hardhats go down in 1-2-3 fashion to start off the ball game, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played half an inning out of 9 in regulation tonight, and we are still scoreless as we have started off this ball game. We're going to take a step aside, folks. We'll be right back with the top of the Sturgis order in the bottom of the first here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats have now transitioned from offense to defense. As Zach Weitzel comes out on the mound for the Hardhats, he will start off this game, his first start as a Hardhat on the mound. Weitzel comes in his 4th appearance of the season, and in those previous 3 relief appearances, 6 2/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a 2.1 ERA with 4 strikeouts compared to 5 walks and 1 hit batsman. He's allowed 4 runs on 4 hits, and of those 4 runs, only 2 of them were earned. He will go up against Brian Duran, the catcher, followed by David Anderson, the right fielder, and Nick Anderson, the third baseman. And yes, the Andersons are brothers. I did ask the coach prior to the start of the matchup if there was any relationship between those 2 gentlemen. Weitzel getting some final words of encouragement from his battery mate, Ryan Schmidt. Hardhats defensive alignment has Weitzel on the mound, paired up with Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. At first is Jace Caldwell. At second, Carter Deming. At shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Matt Hegre. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. Weitzel, first pitch. Swung on, balls popped up to the infield. Carter Deming comes in from second, but then calling him off and taking it from first is Jace Caldwell. Jace Caldwell had to get on his horse to get that ball. Carter Deming had the better beat to it, but Caldwell had built up enough momentum sprinting from first to just tell Deming that he had it. 1 pitch, 1 up, 1 down, and that's going to bring us to David Anderson, the right fielder. Anderson batting left-handed, so the first righty on lefty matchup for Weitzel, and the first pitch is fouled to the left of my press box. 0-1 the count to Anderson. So no balls and a strike to count to the Titans right fielder. Sturgis Titans, not to be confused with the Sturgis Scoopers. That's the high school team. The Titans are the American Legion team. 0-1 pitch is fouled to the fence right behind home plate, and it's 0-2. So Weitzel a pitch away from his 5th strikeout of the season, and it would be his first in this start. No balls and 2 strikes. He is in the driver's seat. Ton of options on this next pitch for him. Here comes the 0-2 to Anderson. And that just missed outside. A fastball. It's 1-2. Base path is empty here for David Anderson, with 1 out in the bottom of the first, still scoreless. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's hit to second. Deming gets the stop deep at second, and the throw to first is in time for the second out. So that's a 4-3 in the book for those following along with us at home. 2 up, 2 down now brings us to Nick Anderson, the brother of David. He is the third baseman of the Titans. Unlike his brother, Nick is a right-handed batter. So now we're back to the righty-on-righty matchups. First pitch from Weitzel. Just missed inside low. It's ball 1. Ball and no strikes to count here to Anderson. 2 outs, and the base path empty here in a scoreless bottom of the first. Next pitch is a fastball low and away, and it's 2-0. If Anderson's retired, the heart of the order's due up for the Hardhats at the top of the second. If not, cleanup hitter Josh West is on deck for the Titans. 2-0, swung on, and it is chopped. Third base side, that's a fair ball. Hegre charges it. Throw to first is not in time. And it just went off the glove of Jace Caldwell. So credit that gentleman with a 2-out infield single. And that will bring us to Josh West, the first baseman. So first hit of the ball game for either side. It was a weak chopper down that third base line, and Hegre did everything he could to field it. He charged in, threw on the run. His throw looked a little off balance, but I think if he got enough leverage, it would have been narrow. Either way, infield hit. Next pitch is swung on, and it's hit to second. Deming gets the stop. The throw to first is in time. And on 1 pitch, Josh West is retired, and that will end the inning. So no runs on a hit, no errors charged to the Hardhats, and a man left in scoring position. And after 1 inning of play, both the Hardhats and the Titans are scoreless. We're going to take a quick step aside, folks. When we come back, it'll be the top of the second inning and the heart of the order for Post 22, starting off with Jack Sorensen here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, both pitchers got out of that first inning with 9 pitches under their belt. And so now Devin Odell is back on the mound to take on the heart of the order for the Hardhats, starting off with Jack Sorensen. Top of the second inning, no runs, a hit for Sturgis, no errors on both sides. And the first pitch to Sorensen misses outside for ball 1. Jack Sorensen, among qualified batters, leads the Hardhats with a .324 batting average coming into this game. His 1-0 pitch is hit high in the air. First base side. Josh West comes in. He makes the catch right on the foul line for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats once again on offense. That's 4 in a row retired, and that'll bring us to the left fielder, Alex Weaver. Weaver's hitting, I think, is dramatically improved from the start of the season. He's coming into this matchup batting .286. At one point, he was below about $1.50. First pitch from Odell is upstairs for ball 1. The Hardhats haven't made any solid contact on the baseball in this game yet. 2 weak pop-outs to the infield and then a shallow fly ball to the outfield. Next pitch to Weaver is swung on and missed. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 1 out and the base path empty here for Alex Weaver. Top of the second, still scoreless between the Titans and the Hardhats. Post 22 in Sturgis tonight. 1-1 pitch hit high in the air, foul, and it's in front of our press box. Actually hit our press box, I think. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Odell already has a strikeout under his belt. He struck out the first batter of the entire ball game. That was Connor King. Full windup, and the 1-2 to Weaver. Swung on, ball is hit high in the air, right side of the infield again. West is underneath it at first, and 2 times in a row, it's a P3 in the book. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats here in the top of the second. That'll bring us to Zach Sumption, the right fielder. Sumption struggling at the plate a little bit. He's batting .129 on the season. He tries to drop the bunt. First pitch is popped up behind home plate. 0-1 the count. He place it to where it's a tough time fielding it to try and get him out at first. He could beat out a throw. Is David Anderson, and he makes the catch, and that's going to end the inning. That'll be an F9 in the book. Swung on, and the ball is hit to the left side of the infield. Bowman gets it on the run at short. His throw to first is in time. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on defense against the Titans. And that's going to bring us to Alec Keffler, the center fielder. Keffler, another right-handed batter. We'll look in at the righty Weitzel. Weitzel has retired 5 of the last 6. First pitch is ripped foul, first base line and out of play. 0-1 the count here to Keffler. He's only surrendered 1 hit. That came in the bottom of the first. 2 out infield single to Nick Anderson. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And that missed high and away, 1-1. Carl Nash, the second baseman's on deck if we get that far. If not, 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Hardhats in the top of the third. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit right back up the middle. It comes to second. Bowman gets the stop at short. Throw to first is low, but it's in time, and that's going to do it. So the Hardhats retire the Titans in 1-2-3 fashion in the bottom of the second, which, as we all know, means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 2 innings out of 9 in tonight's matchup between the Titans and the Hardhats, and we still have 0 runs between either side to speak of. We will take a step aside when we come back. The top of the third and the bottom third of the order for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We're about to get underway here in the top of the third inning from Strong Field in Sturgis, South Dakota. Post 22, Hardhats taking on the Post 33 Titans. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Jace Caldwell is set to lead off the Hardhats here in the top of the third. And the first pitch that he sees from Devin Odell is swung on and missed. A 1-1 pitch to Caldwell. Caldwell on the season is batting .286 on the year. Tied with Alex Weaver on the team. 10 for 35 officially. Struck out 9 times compared to 2 walks. 0-1 pitch is fought off foul. First base side and out of play. And now Caldwell is behind 0-2 to Odell. It'll be Caldwell right now, Schmidt on deck, the catcher, Deming in the hole. 3 gentlemen due up. 0-2 to Caldwell. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Stop is made on the play by Walter, and the throw to first is in time. 6-3 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down now brings us to Ryan Schmidt, the Hardhats catcher. Schmidt on the season batting .235. This will be the 11th out of 13 games in which he has taken a few swings. Odell, full windup, and the righty deals. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to center field. That ball has some legs on it. Underneath it at center, though, backtracking to make the catch is Alec Keffler. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats, and that will bring us to Carter Deming, the second baseman. Deming in a bit of a slump as well, batting .130 on the season. He has struck out 8 times compared to 4 walks, and officially on the year is 3 for 23. 9th out of 13 games in which he's taken some swings. 2 outs for him, base path empty. Top of a scoreless third inning, and the first pitch that he looks at is low and away for ball 1. Want to know the count here to the Hardhats second baseman. Looking to get something started for his team. The 1-0 pitch, a called strike. That fastball hit the outside corner, and it's now 1-1. Full windup for Odell. Here comes the 1-1 to Deming. And that just missed low and away. 2-1. Deming looking for just his 4th hit on the season, but it would be the first one for the Hardhats in 10 innings of baseball, dating back to Sunday. Next pitch, swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left field. That ball has some distance underneath it, but covering even more to make the catch. And then the inning is Covey Ulmer. For a 3rd consecutive inning, the Hardhats go down 1-2-3. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We've played 2.5 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats and the Titans are still scoreless here at Strong Field in Sturgis. We'll take a step aside, folks. When we come back, it's the bottom of the 3rd inning, and Sturgis will send 8, 9, and 1 up against Zach Weitzel, starting off with the second baseman, Carl Nash. You're listening to ESPN Rapid City here on 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and watching on Hardhats-TV. The Hardhats still in a scoreless duel here with the Sturgis Post 33 Titans, but they still have yet to register a hit and a base runner in this game through 2.5 innings of baseball. They transition now to their respective defensive positions, and they'll take on 8, 9, and 1 in the order with Zach Weitzel on the mound, starting off with Carl Nash, the second baseman. Nash, a very close stance at the plate, and his first pitch misses low and away on a fastball. 1-0 he starts off with. Carl Nash, the second baseman, followed by Covey Ulmer, the left fielder, and then we go back to the top of the order to Brian Duran for the Titans. Here comes the 1-0, and that pitch missed low and away as well, 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to count here to Nash. Zach Weitzel still on the mound for the Hardhats, about to throw his 22nd pitch in the start. 2-0 pitch, swung on, hit high in the air to left. Alex Weaver is on his horse. He's backtracking, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. F7 in the book. For those following along, 1 up, 1 down, and that'll bring us to Covey Ulmer, the left fielder. Weitzel's been doing fairly solid so far in this start. 9 pitches in the first inning, 10 in the second, so far 3 right now. First pitch to Ulmer is high and away for ball 1. Another righty-on-righty matchup. And 1-0 the count here to Ulmer with the base path empty and 1 out here in a scoreless bottom of the third. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to the left side of the infield. Hegre gets it on the run. He bats it down with his glove. Throw to first is not in time. And that, I believe, will be ruled an E5. I can assure you, if Matt Hegre had fielded that ball cleanly, that there would be an out at first. I'm going to rule that in my book at least as an E5. So that'll be the first error of the game for the Hardhats. 1 down with the base runner on, and that'll bring us back to the top of the order to Brian Duran. Duran 0 for 1 in this ballgame, and his first pitch from Weitzel swung on and missed. Duran popped out to Jace Caldwell at first, right on the foul line in his first at-bat, back in the bottom of the first inning. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball's hit into left. Alex Weaver is on the run, and he can't make the catch. A full extension dive. Rounding second and heading to third is Ulmer. And on second with a double is Brian Duran. So there's a 1-out double, and now 2 men in scoring position for the Titans. And the lefty David Anderson now comes up with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, and the Hardhats' scoreless deadlock now is in jeopardy. Anderson 0 for 1, grounded out to second. And his first time up back in the bottom of the first. First pitch. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to the infield. Weitzel gets it. Toss to first is in time. Heading to third, going home is Ulmer, and Schmidt couldn't hang on to the ball for the tag, and a run will score in the sequence. So the Hardhats get the out at first. An RBI ground out at that. And the Titans have a 1-0 lead with a man on third and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. Advancing to third in the sequence was Brian Duran. So Ulmer comes in to score. And that error proving costly because he reached on the error. That could have been out number 2. You'd be out of this inning right now if that was the case. So now, here comes Nick Anderson, the third baseman, with a man on third. 2 outs, and he looks at strike 1. 0-1 the count here to Anderson, who had the only hit of the ballgame up until that double there from Duran. Next pitch is fouled off first base side, and it's 0-2 to Nick Anderson. So David Anderson gets the RBI ground out. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Weitzel could really use that first K right now to get out of the inning. 0-2 pitch, swung on, and it's hit to third. Hegre gets the stop in the corner, and the throw to first is in time, and that is going to end it. The bottom half of the third inning has come to an end, but damage has been established. The Titans get 1 run on the power of 1 hit with 1 error charged to the Hardhats, and a man left 90 feet from adding a second run for the Titans. And after 3 innings out of 9 tonight, the Titans strike first, and they have a 1-0 lead over Post 22 heading into the top of the 4th. Hardhats are looking for their first hit and their first base runner as we come to the top of the 4th. Back to the top of the order we go with Connor King. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. We've played 3 innings of baseball, and it's the Titans who have struck first in this matchup. 1-0 the score as we head into the top of the 4th inning. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats: no runs, no hits, no errors, and to take it a step further, no base runners. And for the Titans, it's 1 run on 2 hits with no errors, charged to them on defense. The 1 error actually does belong to post 22, so I have to amend my earlier statement. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Post 22 looking to get out of a massive slump here, as Connor King in the top of the order due up here in the top of the 4th. Devin Odell on the mound has been fantastic. He's only struck out 1, but he's retired 9 in a row, and he's only done it on 25 pitches through 3 innings. First pitch to King is high and away for ball 1. Connor King is his only strikeout, so he's 0 for 1 starting off the top half of the 4th inning here. 1-0 the Titans lead. The Hardhats trying to get something going here. 1-0 is fouled off. Third base side now to play, and the count evens up for Connor King at 1-1. Ball and a strike now to King. Just started the top of the 4th. Pitch from Odell is way upstairs. 2-1. This is the second count, by the way, that Odell has thrown more than 1 ball in. The other one was Carter Deming. He flew out to end the top of the 3rd on a 2-1 pitch. So here comes the 2-1 now to King. And that just missed at his letters, and it's 3-1. This is the deepest count that Odell's been forced into. The Hardhats need to exercise some patience, get that pitch count up, because he's about to throw number 30 here on his first batter in the top of the 4th. 3-1 is up high for ball 4, and the Hardhats get their first base runner of the ball game with a leadoff walk issued to King. That's going to bring us now to Matt Hegre, who now is hoping to deliver the first hit of the ball game for the Hardhats, with King on and no one out. We have a mound visit right now. Sturgis manager comes out to talk with Odell. Odell threw 9 pitches in the first inning and 8 in the second and third. So a 5-pitch at bat to Connor King, that has not been commonplace at all. I'm looking right now. King had 4 pitches in his first. Matt Hegre retired on 3. Bowman retired on 2. Sorensen on 2. Weaver on 4. Sumption on 2. Caldwell on 3. Schmidt on 1. Deming on 4. I mean, he's hitting a healthy average of about 3 or 4 pitches in at bat. And I think, honestly, that's more on the hitting side of it than it is on the pitching. I don't want to discredit the young gentleman. He's pitched a great game so far, but the Hardhats need to force him to throw more pitches. So here comes Hegre with a man on first, no one out, and the first pitch buzzes the tower high and inside for ball 1. Hegre again 0 for 1, just like the rest of his counterparts on this team. Flew out to center field in his first at-bat. Here comes his 1-0. That's a called strike right at his belt, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. King is on first. A leadoff walk put him on the base path here in the top of the 4th. No longer scoreless as the Titans took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 pitch. That's upstairs. 2-1. The Hardhats have not hit since Sunday in 10 innings of baseball. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on, and it's flared off. Foul, first base side. And the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count to Matt Hegre, the Hardhats' third baseman. King takes his lead off at first. No one out here in the top of the 4th. Hardhats down 1-0. Runner thought about going, and then emotion was feigned on the mound to keep King back. King took off a tad bit too early there. Had he waited at least an extra second, he would have been off to second. No harm, no foul. But that almost cost him there. 2-2 pitch. Missed low and away, just barely, and the count goes full. So now this is the deepest count that the Hardhats have taken Sturgis pitching into. First payoff pitch of the entire ballgame for both sides. As Odell's looking to avoid back-to-back walks. And now he makes a move to first. Tad bit dangerously close to a balk, I would think. As he made a motion before stepping. Payoff pitch coming up, and here it comes with the runner going, and Hegre chops it foul and nearly hit Coach Torvey outside the third base coach's box. Payoff pitch number 2 coming up. And now Odell's thrown 11 pitches in this inning, so this is the deepest he's gone as far as pitch count's concerned. But we're still in the top of the 4th. He's still at a very healthy average as of right now, so the Hardhats need to do more damage to that arm, so to speak. Check to first, not there in time, and it bounces off the glove, but it's not threatening enough for King to take second. So we're still waiting on that second payoff pitch. Hardhats have a man on first with no one out here in the top of the 4th. And Matt Hegre about to see a second payoff pitch from Devin Odell, the starting pitcher of the Titans. Odell takes a look at first. Payoff number 2. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to left center field. That ball's going to drop for a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the fence. Connor King's getting the green light. He rounds to third. He's heading home, and the throw will not come. An RBI double from Matt Hegre, the first hit in 11 innings for the Hardhats dating back to Sunday, and we are all square at 1 here in the top of the 4th. A big RBI double there for Hegre to get the gorilla off the back of post 22. No outs, a man still in scoring position, and now here comes Cooper Bowman looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Hegre takes his lead off a second. Odell deals, and the first pitch is low and away to Bowman for ball 1. Bowman, like everybody after him now on the lineup, is 0 for 1. He popped out to his position at short to end a 1-2-3 top half of the first. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is torched. Foul, third base side. Ball and a strike now the count. Bowman waited on that pitch, too. He knew an off-speed pitch was coming in, so great patience from him. Really waited on it and just turned. Ball and a strike the count to the Hardhat shortstop. Matt Hegre standing on second with that RBI double. We are all tied at 1 now with no outs in the top of the 4th. Odell checks second, 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and it's flared off foul. First base side, and it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes the count to Cooper Bowman. Odell already has 1 K. He's looking for a second one. It would prove to be a big first out for his Titans club on defense here. Still no outs and a man in scoring position for the Hardhats. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is hit to second, and it gets right by Carl Nash, and it goes into right center. Rounding third and heading home is Matt Hegre, and a throw won't come again. An RBI single for Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats now have the lead, and it stands at 2-1 with no outs and a man on first here in the top of the 4th. The key to that play was the coverage of the base runner on second. Carl Nash shifted over just in case there was a pickoff, and then all of a sudden started to run to his left. Cooper Bowman hit the ball right up the middle to the right of Nash. He couldn't slam the brakes and get to the ball to stop it in time. So it was a good piece of hitting there for Bowman, who knocks in Hegre. So there's a man on first and no one out. Here in the top of the 4th, Hardhats now have the lead at 2-1. And here comes Jack Sorensen, who looks at a first pitch ball, low and away. 1-0 the count to the Hardhats DH, who popped out to first in his first at-bat in the top of the 2nd. 1-0. Pitch is turned on to left. Ball has some air under it, and underneath it to make the catch is Covey Ulmer. So now the Hardhats finally have an out recorded against them here in the top of the 4th. That'll bring up Alex Weaver with a man on first. And the Hardhats now holding on to a 2-1 lead. Double play in effect to end the inning, so this is a big sequence coming up for the Titans. Weaver also popped out to first, and like many of his teammates, is 0 for 1. First pitch. Runner goes. It's low and away. Throw to second, way off track, and Bowman safe. So Bowman steals second. The throw went to looking at it from behind home plate to the right of second, so Bowman was up easy, as they say. 1-0 the count here to Weaver with a man at scoring position now. 1 out. Here in the top of the fourth, the Hardhats with a 2-1 lead. And the 1-0 is high and away, 2-0 now to Weaver. Brief chat between Duran, the catcher, and Odell, the pitcher, before we get right back to it. 2 balls and no strikes the count to the Hardhats left fielder. 2-1 is the Hardhats lead. The man on second and 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Odell comes from the stretch, and the 2-0 pitch is waited on, hit high in the air to shallow right. Coming in from second to make the catch is Nash, and Bowman had to come all the way back to tag up. So there's a pop 4 in the book for the second out, and that's going to bring us to Zach Sumption. Sumption, the right fielder, is 0 for 1, flew out to right. Looking to switch places here with Bowman and give the Hardhats a third run, keep the inning going. If he's retired, Heart of the order's due up for Sturgis in the bottom half of this fourth. Game of cat and mouse on second. First pitch to Sumption, misses low and away. 1-0 the count to the Hardhat right fielder. 2-1 the Hardhats lead. 2 runs on the power of 2 hits in this inning. Here comes the 1-0. Misses low and away. 2 balls, no strikes now to Sumption. Sumption on the season batting .129. He is really in a slump here. Only 4 for 31 on the season, now 4 for 32, including his first at-bat tonight. Here comes the 2-0. And that's upstairs. 3 balls and no strikes. And now Odell's a pitch away from potentially issuing his second walk of the frame. 3 balls and no strikes to count. And Odell deals. Called strike right at the belt of Sumption. It's 3-1. Three-one pitch to Sumption. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on. That's hit high in the air to left center, and it goes over the head of center fielder Alec Keffler, and it's going all the way to the fence. Bowman comes in to score. Sumption into second with a 2-out RBI double, and the Hardhats lead is now 3-1 here in the top of the fourth. Great piece of hitting for Zach Sumption, and even better to not only end his slump, but end it with an RBI hit, and an RBI extra base hit at that. Bowman comes in to score. Hardhats now have a 3-1 lead, and it looks like a pitching change will be made. Odell's evening has come to an end after 3 2/3 innings of work. So Odell comes to some applause back to the Sturgis dugout, and it looks like Gage Murphy has now stepped in relief. Folks, we'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we'll recap the Titans starter and his evening, including a 4th inning that allowed the Hardhats to get back into the game. And we'll recap that and more in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, as we mentioned prior to the break, Devin Odell's evening has come to an end after 3 2/3 innings of work in which he allowed 3 runs on 3 hits. All those 3 runs were earned, by the way. 1 strikeout to 1 walk, but the stat now to put in perspective is the pitch count. He did it all on 51 pitches. And at one point, Odell was averaging an unreal pitch count. He finished off with an average of just under 14 per inning. But he threw 9 in the first inning, 8 in the second and the third, and in this 2/3 of the fourth that he pitched, threw 26. And so we were talking about all broadcast long at that point how the Hardhats needed to get him deeper into counts, how to fight off a couple of pitches, get that pitch count up. They rang him up for 26. And now Gage Murphy, the righty, takes over in relief. First batter he faces is Jace Caldwell, who has a man on second and 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. Hardhats have played at 3 runs on 3 hits and now have a 3-1 lead. And the first pitch to Caldwell is a strike, 0-1. Caldwell grounded out to short in his first at-bat. That was back in the top of the third. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats. 0-1, just missed low on a breaking pitch, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. The man on second, Zach Sumption, with the RBI double with 2 outs. Next pitch is turned on to left. That ball has some legs underneath it, but it just veers off foul. And the count for Caldwell is at a ball and 2 strikes. If that were about a foot the other way, Sumption's coming in to score, and Caldwell could make himself comfortable on second. That would have been a double at the minimum. Instead, Sturgis gets an extra life, if you will, with the ball veering off foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Caldwell. And the pitch is swung on, hit right up the middle and into center for a base hit. Zach Sumption gets the green light. He rounds third, but then they give him the stop sign. And Sumption backtracks to third base. So Caldwell gets a 2-out single to keep this rally going. Zach Sumption now 90 feet from home. That puts men on the corners for Ryan Schmidt with 2 outs. Schmidt flew out to center field. 0 for 1 in his first plate appearance. He has men to 90 feet to either side of him. Here in the top of the fourth, in which the Hardhats have plated 3. A fourth one standing 90 feet to his left. First pitch to him from Gage Murphy in relief comes high and inside. 1-0. Ball and 0 strikes to count. And the pitch to Schmidt misses low, and it's 2-0. Ball was blocked by Duran, so there was no threat of anybody taking a base. Murphy pitching from the stretch. He's already dealt 6 in relief so far. Men on the corners, 2 out. Next pitch swung on, and it's just chopped foul, third base side. And now it's 2-1 against Schmidt. By the way, you can change Odell's stat line to 4 runs allowed, all of them earned, as he was responsible for Zach Sumption prior to being substituted. So now these 2 base runners here in Caldwell. Oh, I'm sorry, that 4th run didn't come across. I'm seeing things. 3-1 pitch. I believe it's ball 4. Oh, no, 2-1 pitch is 3-1. Now we're all getting screwed up. 3 balls and a strike, and there's still only 3 runs. These are why these scorebooks are very important. And the 3-1 is now ball 4. That will load up the bases with 2 outs here for the Hardhats. For Carter Deming, who has to be chomping at the bit to end his slump. Bases loaded for Deming, 2 outs here in the top of the fourth. The Hardhats have a 3-1 lead. Now that I've set the record straight. And the first pitch to Deming is upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Gage Murphy in relief. Deals us 1-0. And Deming looks at strike 1, called at his knees. 1-1. Deming has every base occupied. Schmidt on first with a 2-out walk. Jace Caldwell on second, the 1-out single, a 2-out single. And then Zach Sumption, the 2-out RBI double. He's on third. Next pitch to Deming, hit high in the air to shallow right. Coming in from second, Carl Nash to make the catch. He traps it in the glove, and that ends the Hardhats' threat. Well, the Hardhats end up plating 3 runs in the inning. On the power of 4 hits, no errors charged to Sturgis, and the bases left loaded. The Hardhats batted through the entire lineup in that inning, by the way. That was an inning they really needed for confidence and for offense. At the end of 3.5, they have a 3-1 lead over the Sturgis Titans. Take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 4th here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, for the first time since Sunday morning, the Hardhats have a hit. Or actually, I should date that back earlier. Since Saturday night, the first time since Saturday night, the Hardhats have a hit, and they have runs scored. 3 runs on 4 hits for the Hardhats, 1 error charged to them on defense. And for the Titans heading into the bottom of the 4th, it's 1 run on 2 hits with no errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City. We had a discussion in the press box earlier. We have no idea how many innings this game is, if it's 7 or if it's 9. I thought it was 9. Everybody else thought it was 7. So we're just going to keep calling baseball and watching baseball until they tell us to stop. How's that sound? Here comes Josh West to lead off the bottom of the 4th, and he check swings at strike 1. 0-1 the count to the Titans' first baseman, who was 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Grounded out to second to end bottom of the 1st. Sturgis trails 3-1. And the 0-1 pitch is swung on, and it's hit high in the air, foul to the right of my press box. Probably land in front of it. And take a nice thud off to the fence. 0-2 the count now to West. Zach Weitzel still on the mound in his start for the Hardhats. His first start as a Hardhat and his 4th appearance of the season. Looking to keep this 3-1 lead intact for his club. 0-2 pitch. Missed low and away, and the count goes to 1-2. Weitzel still looking for a strikeout in this ballgame. He does not have one yet. There's only been 1 issue. That belonged to Devin Odell, the Titan starter. 1-2 pitch. Missed outside, and it's 2-2 now from Weitzel. We had my good friend Steve Nitzel in the broadcast booth with us last Saturday, and Steve said, okay, you were ahead 0-2. You fooled around on 2 pitches. Now go in and attack. Here comes the 2-2. Let's see what happens. Next pitch is swung on. It's hit to first, and then it takes a nasty hop over the head of Jace Caldwell. That ball ricocheted off of a rock or something. And so Josh West gets a leadoff single to start off the bottom of the 4th. That'll bring up Tristan Walter, the shortstop. I don't know what the heck that ball hit, but that changed trajectory. Something fierce. And Caldwell was in perfect position, and then all of a sudden the ball just arced right over his head. First pitch. Swung on, ball's hit right back to Weitzel. He gets the set. Second for 1, to first for 2. Got it. A 1-6-3 double play immediately erases that base running threat. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th, and that'll bring us to Steve Fisher, the DH, with the base path empty and 2 outs now in the bottom of the 4th. So that 1 pitch completely changed the complexion of this inning. And the first pitch from Weitzel to Steve Fisher is outside for ball 1. Fisher is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. And now Weitzel's efficiency is really starting to peek through. Here comes the 1-0. Next pitch, called, strike. And it's 1-1 now to Fisher. Weitzel in the first inning threw 9 pitches, threw 10 in the second and the third. And has thrown 8 already in this inning. Here comes number 9, a 1-1 pitch. And that misses low. It's 2-1. Weitzel very efficient in this start as well. And it goes back to what Coach Torvey said. He loves his pitching right now and his defense. 2-1, swung on and missed. Now the count evens up at 2-2. And that's part of why they gave Zach Weitzel this start. Can he start? Do they still want him in relief? Still trying to figure out a role for this young gentleman, but he's clearly going to have one. He's showcased some fantastic pitching since he's become a hard hat. 2-2 to Fisher. Swung on and missed, strike three, and that will be his first strikeout of the start, and it ends the bottom of the fourth. No runs on a hit with no errors and no one left on the base path thanks to that 1-6-3 double play. And at the end of 4 innings of baseball, the Hardhats now maintain their 3-1 lead over the Titans. We're going to take a quick step aside, folks, and when we come back, the top of the 5th inning comes up. And for the Hardhats, once again, the top of the order. We'll be right back on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Hardhats have a 3-1 lead as we transition now to the top of the 5th inning. Hardhats have 3 runs on 4 hits with 1 error on defense. And the Titans have a run on 3 hits with no errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City. Gage Murphy back in relief for the Titans. And his first pitch to Connor King leading off for a 2nd inning in a row. Misses for ball 1. King still 0 for 1, but he walked in the top of the 4th and came around to score the first Hardhats run. And his 1-0 pitch is chopped foul down the first base line, and it evens up at a ball and a strike. So once again, back at the top two, King, Hegre, and Bowman for the Hardhats. Ball and a strike now to King with Murphy again in relief. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball called strike at the knees of King. That was a beautifully placed pitch. And now King's behind 1-2 to Murphy. Full windup for the righty. And the 1-2 to the lefty is check swung on, and it is a ball up high, 2-2. It was a good eye there by King. Thought about at least chasing that high pitch. And now here comes the 2-2 to King. Swung on, and it's just fought off. And the count will hold at 2-2. Now, this is more of what we'd like to see from Hardhats hitting. That kind of fouling. That ball was on the fringe. Would it have been a ball or a strike? We don't know. It obviously was a strike because it was fouled, but the bottom line is King protected. 2-2 pitch, misses low and inside, and the count goes full. I'd like to see so much more of that. 2-strike approach, and it's something that Coach Clapperidge talked about as well. Payoff pitch now to King. Swung on, and it's ripped foul, and the count will hold full. Second payoff pitch coming up. He talked about 2-strike approach, and a lot of that comes as well to protecting. If the ball is even remotely close to being a strike, throw your hands at it. Foul it off. Force the pitcher to make a mistake because you're taking him off on the mound. Payoff number 2 is swung on, and it's fouled once again down the first baseline. And the count will hold full for payoff pitch number 3. Now, these are the at-bats that we need to see. This is an 8-pitch at-bat right now. The Hardhats were getting retired in innings in 8 pitches. And now you've seen that in just one sequence here. Payoff pitch number 3 coming up. And Murphy deals low and inside for ball 4. And the longer a batter extends an at-bat like that, the more that the pitcher is going to be prone to making a mistake. And there it was with the pitch low and inside. Another leadoff walk issued to King in back-to-back innings. That's now going to bring up Matt Hegre, who came up clutch for the Hardhats with an RBI double back in that top of the 4th. Let's see if lightning does strike twice. We know it struck a couple of times in the background for those watching. And the first pitch skips low, and Connor King's going to take second. So King steals second. And Hegre has a 1-0 count with a man in scoring position to worry about now. So he is in another situation where he can knock in a run here. Ball and no strikes. King takes his lead off a second. And the pitch to Hegre is low for ball 2. 2-0 now the count to the Hardhats third baseman. Here in the top of the 5th, it's a 3-1 Hardhats lead. And the 2-0. Called strike outside corner, and it's 2-1. Nice fastball there from Gage Murphy. Murphy came in relief of Devin Odell, who went 3 2/3 innings. Struck out 1 and walked 1. And allowed 3 runs. The next pitch to Hegre, a called strike inside, and now he has an even 2-2 count to deal with here. Man on second, no outs. Top of the 5th, and his team's up 3-1. 2-2 to Hegre. Check swing, low and inside. It was not strike 3. They didn't say he went. Or no, they're saying he went. Strike 3 was dropped, and Hegre was tagged. He didn't think he went, and from up here, obviously, we don't have the angle. It didn't look like he went. But that is the first K in relief for Gage Murphy. So 1 down. Still a man on second. That's going to bring us to Cooper Bowman. First pitch to Bowman. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul to the left of my press box. And it bounces away from the building. 0-1 to Bowman. Bowman's 1 for 2 on the ball game. RBI single and a pop out to his position at short. He also stole a base. He came around to score once. He is the most recent of 3 Hardhats runs. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped up the middle. That's a base hit into center. Connor King gets the green light. He rounds third. He is coming home, and the throw is not going to get there. Another RBI single by Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats lead is now 4-1 with a man on first and 1 out here in the top of the 5th. If Gage Murphy did not move his head, he would be decapitated right now. That ball came right back up the middle. Bowman caught every ounce of that ball and just drilled it into center. So King comes around to score for a second time in this ball game, and now that brings us to Jack Sorensen. 1 out and a man on first. Hardhats leads now 4-1 here in the top of the 5th. And Murphy from the stretch called strike at the knees of Sorensen. It's 0-1. Nice breaking pitch there from Murphy. Umpire took a tad bit too long to make the call, but I think he still made the right one. No balls and a strike to count here. And the pitch to Sorensen with the runner going is upstairs. And the throw to second is not there in time. It trickles out into center, but Bowman's not going to try for third. So another stolen base for Cooper Bowman here, and it's good to see the Hardhats getting aggressive like this. Sweep the leg mentality, if you will, for those Karate Kid fans listening. Man on second now for Sorensen. 1-1 count. Sorensen looking for his first hit of the ball game. He is 0 for 2. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Big cut there from Sorensen. And it's now 1-2. Sorensen with a chance to knock in another run if he gets his first hit of the ball game here. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and it's just fouled off. Fouled right off the end of his bat and went to the fencing behind home. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Murphy looks in to Sorensen. He'll go from the stretch. Quick peek to second. 1-2. Swung on and it's fouled off again. That pitch almost looked like it jammed Sorensen a bit. He had to bring his swing in a bit just to try and make some contact. He flared it off. So the count still holds at 1 ball and 2 strikes now for the Hardhats DH. Alex Weaver's on deck. Bowman takes his lead off a second. And the 1-2. Swung on, ball is ripped to short, and it skips, and it goes in to shallow left. Bowman's going to take third. That's all he's going to get. Sorensen will hang on at first. That's a tough scoring play there because It was an awkward line drive that Walter, the shortstop, tried to short hop, and it skipped right under his glove. I don't know. Are we looking at hit? Yeah, we're going to look at hit here. There we go. So that's a single for Jack Sorensen. He gets his first hit of the ball game. Had to confer with our official scorer there for a bit. Normally it's cut and dry, hit or an error. That one a tad bit in the gray area, though. Here comes Alex Weaver. And his first pitch is a called strike at his knees. 0-1 the count. And the reason, again, it was tough is because if Walter charged forward a little more, he could have made a catch. But instead he tried to short hop the ball, and it just kind of got away from him there. Runner goes to second. That's a defensive indifference. They don't even bother trying to throw for Sorensen. So he's now on second. Counts 1-1 to Weaver. 2 men in scoring position for him. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. It's a 4-1 Hardhats lead. And the next pitch to Weaver just missed. 2-1. Two balls and a strike to count. 2 men in scoring position for Weaver. 2-1 for Murphy. Is high and away, ball 3. Now Murphy is a pitch away from loading the bases. 3 balls and a strike to count. Bowman on third. Sorensen on second. And the 3-1 is upstairs for ball 4. And Weaver gets a 1-out walk. Every base is now occupied. That brings up Zach Sumption, the right fielder. Sumption broke out of his slump with an RBI double the last time he was up. He's now 1 for 2 on the ballgame. Every base occupied. Infield's coming in. Hardhats with a 4-1 lead. They can blow the roof off this place if they play their cards right. First pitch. High and away, ball 1. First, Weaver. Second, Sorensen. Third, Bowman. Only 1 out. That was Matt Heggery on a very awkward strikeout. The Titans infield's in, trying to prevent any play at home. 4-1's the Hardhats lead. Solid smack of the ball from Sumption, and that could balloon very quickly. Murphy a full windup. Here comes the 1-0. And that buzzes the tower high and inside. It's 2-0. Jace Caldwell is on deck. He's probably chomping at the bit, too, with what he sees in front of him. Here comes the 2-0. And Sumption fouls it. 2 balls and a strike. Looked like that went right off the end of his barrel. And now he has a strike on the count. Gage Murphy's thrown 30 pitches in this inning. Here's the 2-1. Pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to right. Underneath it is David Anderson. Anderson towards the foul line makes the catch. Bowman tags up. He turns on his jets. Bowman coming home. Everybody advances a base, and Bowman's safe. A sac fly RBI for Zach Sumption. And the Hardhats lead is now 5-1. Their second run of the inning with 2 outs, 2 men in scoring position here in the top of the 5th. So Sorensen advances to third and Weaver to second. Bowman comes in to score. Jace Caldwell comes up. He hit the last time he was up. 1 for 2. Got a 2-out single. And his first pitch misses low. 1-0. 1-0 the count here to the Hardhats first baseman. He switched out from first base and DH. 1-0, swung on, ripped to third. Stop is made on the play by Anderson, and the throw to first is off track. Caldwell's going to take second. 1 run's already come in to score. Here comes the second. A 2-run error on Nick Anderson, the third baseman, and now the Hardhats lead is at 7-1 with Caldwell standing in scoring position. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. A 2-run, 2-base error, as the throw to first was off track. So now here comes Ryan Schmidt with a man on second and 2 outs. And the first pitch is swung on, and that's lofted into right field. And that goes over the head of Anderson and all the way to the fence. Schmidt rounds first. He's going to second. Caldwell's come in to score. Schmidt rounds second. He's going to third, and he's going to have a two-out stand-up RBI triple. And the Hardhats now have an 8-1 lead here in the top of the fifth. Schmidt turned on his afterburners the second he made contact with that ball. Great base running. Number one, a great well-placed hit opposite field to a Mack truck-sized gap in right center. But then great base running as well to make it all the way to third. Carter Deming now comes up, and he swings and misses at his first pitch. 0-1 the count to Deming as he has a man on third, 90 feet to his left with two outs. 0-1 to Deming. Pitch is swung on, and it's chopped foul, third base side. And now he's behind 0-2. Deming's 0 for 2. His first hit would make it a 9-1 Hardhats lead. Right now it stands at 8 with 5 runs scored in this inning on 3 hits. 0-2 for Murphy. And that misses low and away. Ball and 2 strikes. As it stands, 5 runs for the Hardhats on 3 hits with 1 error charged to the Titans. And the 1-2. Just missed. Oh, wait. Did they call strike 3? Yeah, they called strike 3. That was a very, very subdued strike 3. Well, that's an awkward end of the inning. 5 runs on 3 hits with 1 error and 1 man left 90 feet on third, excuse me. And at the end of 4.5 innings, the Hardhats have blown this one wide open. It is an 8-1 lead heading into the bottom of the 5th. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. For those Rush fans tuning into tonight's broadcast, you can call any of our ticket representatives for your season tickets today. 716-7825. We're doing a brand new thing with season tickets this year where if you get a full 36-game package for the season, you get a personalized jersey with your name on it. So think about that, because we've never done that before. Zach Weitzel comes back on the mound for the Hardhats. He has thrown 40 pitches in 4 innings. He comes into his 5th inning of work, and Alec Keffler will lead off. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Titans. By the way, 2 innings in a row, the Hardhats batted through the lineup. Looking at the scorebook, Hardhats have 8 runs on 7 hits with 1 error on defense, and the Titans have a run on 3 hits, also with an error charged. And the first pitch to Keffler rides upstairs for ball 1. Keffler's 0 for 1. He grounded out to short in his first at-bat. We're in the bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats trying to protect an 8-1 lead. And the 1-0 misses low. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes now to Keffler. We're going to have to watch very closely on the umpire because he had a very non-emphatic strike 3 call to end the top half of this inning. So we're going to have to watch every movement. 2-0 is swung on, chopped to third. Hegre gets it on the hop, and the throw to first is in time. That almost pulled Caldwell full off the bag, and I think that's going to be argued. Did Caldwell get down in time? And that's what the umpire is saying. Yeah, he was taken off the bag, but he landed in time. Awfully, awfully close. Just from up here, it looked like he may not have hit it on time, but the umpire has the better view than I do from all the way back here. So 5-3 in the book. One up, one down for the Hardhats on defense, and now that's going to bring us to Carl Nash, the second baseman. And I think it's still to some effect being discussed, and now I think the discussion's been dropped. Well, the home plate umpire is now coming to have a discussion about it. Is it he's telling the base coach to calm down, or it looks like he's just telling him to calm down, and we're going to get back to baseball here. Carl Nash comes up. He's 0 for 1. Base path is empty for him with one out here in the bottom of the fifth. 8-1 Hardhats lead. And the first pitch is a called strike at his knees. It's 0-1. Nash flew out to left back in the bottom half of the third. Base path is empty for him with one out, bottom of the fifth. His team down 7 to the Hardhats. 0-1 pitch misses low, and the count evens up at 1-1. Ball and a strike to count. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's fouled to the right side of our press box. Didn't come into the press box. 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. And Weitzel deals. Low and away, 2-2. Zach Weitzel has only 1 strikeout in this start. The next pitch is strike 3. It'll be number 2. Base path empty here for Nash. 2 balls, 2 strikes is count. 1 out, bottom of the fifth. And Weitzel's 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is K number 2 for Weitzel. 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the fifth. And that'll bring us to the 9-hole hitter, Covey Ulmer. Ulmer reached on an error. He is the only run scored in this ballgame for the Titans. That came back in the bottom of the third. Here comes Weitzel, first pitch. Swung on, ball's hit to short. Here comes Cooper Bowman with the scoop, throw to first in time, and that is going to end the bottom half of the fifth. The Titans go down 1-2-3 for just the second time in this ballgame. No runs, no hits, no errors charged to the Hardhats. Nobody left on base. We've played 5 innings of baseball. Whether it's 5 of 7 or 5 of 9, we'll keep going until the umpire says, okay, that's enough. We'll be right back with the top of the 6th. The Hardhats have an 8-1 lead here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Top of the 6th inning coming up here at Strong Field in Sturgis. Post 22 has an 8-1 lead over the Sturgis Post 33 Titans. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Gage Murphy is still on the mound in relief for the Titans, and he's going to take on a new leadoff hitter for the Hardhats. It seems that in the shuffle of innings, Branson Keel took over in right field and Zach Sumption moved to center. That means Connor King is now out of the game. He finished 0 for 1 with a pair of walks and a pair of runs scored and a stolen base. So Branson Keel comes in. And Keel has only batted in 1 game. That was this last Sunday. He pinch hit against Cheyenne. He was the final out of the no-hitter. So he's looking for his first hit of the season. First pitch from Murphy is swung on and missed. 0-1 the count here to Keel. So now it is all righties in the order now for the Hardhats. Connor King, the only lefty, pulled. Looks like we have another substitution coming up here as well. Next pitch to Keel. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left center field. That ball has some legs on it. That ball has the distance, and it goes all the way to the fence. Keel rounds second, and it looks like he's going to hang on at second as he gets his first hit as a post-22 Hardhat to lead off the top half of the 6th, and it is a lead-off double. And now it looks like Mason Messenger has come in for Matt Heggery. Now, whether Messenger will play second or third, yet to be seen. But Messenger comes in for Heggery, who went 1 for 3 with an RBI double, a run scored, and a strikeout. Man on second is Keel, leadoff double, and the first pitch to Messenger's upstairs and inside for ball one. Messenger on the season batting .214, only the 5th game in which he's batted. He had to nurse an injury earlier this season, lower body. And his 1-0 pitch misses low and away. It's 2-0. Murphy quickly going to work now against the Hard Hats batters, trying to throw their rhythm off here. Murphy a look to second. 2-0 pitch. Swung on and missed by Messenger up high. It's 2-1. So Branson Keel gets his first hit as a Hard Hat. Messenger got his first against Gillette last Wednesday. 2-1 pitch is up high. 3-1. Messenger on the season has only struck out once and walked once. He's officially 3 for 14 on the season. 3-1 pitch. Called strike at his knees. And now the count goes full. Keel takes his lead off a second. And payoff to Messenger is up high for ball 4. So Messenger's issued a walk. That'll put men on first and second with no one out here at the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Cooper Bowman. Cooper Bowman's 2 for 3. He has RBI singles in back-to-back at-bats. He's also stolen 2 bases, and he's come around to score twice. A little bit of double vision there for Cooper Bowman. First pitch. Called strike. A nice breaking ball from Murphy, and it's 0-1. Men on first and second here for Bowman. Still no one out in the top of the 6th. Hard Hats have an 8-1 lead. And the 0-1 is low and inside, a ball and a strike. The kill shot of the inning as of right now for the Hard Hats was that top of the 5th, where for a second consecutive inning they batted through the order, but 5 runs scored. 1-1. Swung on, and that ball's ripped into left field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Keel gets the green light. He rounds third, nearly stumbles. He was running so fast. He heads on home, and Cooper Bowman steps in on second. An RBI double for Cooper Bowman, who has hit in 3 consecutive at-bats, and the Hard Hats lead is now 9-1 with 2 men in scoring position, and no one out here in the top of the 6th. And it looks like we have a pinch hitter coming in for the Hard Hats, as that is Jake Goebel that's coming in. I have him listed as 35 on my roster, so Coach Torvey had a clerical issue, as that is number 26. And now it looks like another pitching change has come to us, as Carl Nash will take over from second to pitch. We're going to take a quick step aside first. When we come back, Jake Goebel comes up with 2 men on. And the Hard Hats have a 9-1 lead. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Well, we have our changing of the guard now on the mound, as Carl Nash comes in from second to pitch. Gage Murphy, by the way, pitched 61 pitches in an inning and a third of work. He's allowed 6 runs, and only 5 of them are earned. He struck out a pair in the relief appearance as well, and gave up 4 hits in doing so. So now Carl Nash comes in from second to pitch. Jake Goebel, the first man that he faces, and Goebel fouled off his first pitch. And now, Nash steps off the rubber. Goebel has not batted this season, so this is his first at-bat at the varsity level. He's pitched primarily up to this point. 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to center field. And it goes over the head. It was misjudged by Alec Keffler. And it goes all the way to the wall. Goebel's rounding second. He's coming into third with a 2-run RBI triple. And the Hardhats now have an 11-1 lead with no outs and a man on third here in the top of the sixth. It looked like the second Goebel hit the ball that Keffler had it square. He moved forward and stopped a bit and then realized, wait a second, that ball has some air under it. And he started to get on his horse and go right back to dead center's wall. But by then, everybody had scored and Goebel stood up on third base. So a 2-run RBI triple. How about that for a first hit as a Hardhat? And now, here comes Alex Weaver for post 22, as the Hardhats have plated 4 runs in this inning. And they now have an 3 runs in this inning, and they have an 11-1 lead. Weaver looks at ball 1. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. 1-0 pitch is swung on, and it's hit past Nash on the mound. Stop comes to Murphy at second, and the throw to first is in time, but that will score Goebel. And now the Hardhats lead is 12-1 on the RBI groundout here with 1 out in the top of the sixth. Zach Sumption, right fielder, now center fielder, comes in. He's 1 for 2, an RBI double and a sac fly RBI under his belt. First pitch is swung on, and it's chopped to third. Stops made on the play by Anderson, and his throw to first is in time. Brilliantly executed there. That was a nice snag right on the foul line there at third. And that will bring us to Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. So after 4 consecutive men reach the base path, 3 with hits, 1 with a walk, all 4 come in to score. 2 have been retired, and now Caldwell comes up. 12-1 Hardhats lead here in the top of the sixth. And the first pitch to Caldwell is a called strike. Caldwell's 1 for 3, singled, reached on an error, came around to score. His error was actually a 2-base and 2-run error as well. All of that came with 2 outs. 0-1 pitch is flared high in the air, right field side, and it drops foul. About 3 feet off the line. 0-2 now the count to Caldwell. Hardhats lead is 12-1. The base path's now empty for Caldwell with 2 outs here in the top of the sixth. The Hardhats have scored in 3 consecutive innings. 3 runs in the top of the fourth, 5 in the top of the fifth, and now 4 here in the top of the sixth, and we're still not done. Here comes the 0-2 from Nash. And that misses outside, 1-2 to Caldwell. And the 1-2 is upstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here to Caldwell. 2 outs, top of the sixth. Hardhats now with a whopping 12-1 lead. And Nash deals. Swung on, and the breaking ball's fouled. And the count will hold even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes from Nash, who came in from second to pitch. And here's a 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that's going to end the inning. Nash gets his first strikeout in relief. But the Hardhats deal even more damage in this frame. 4 runs on 3 hits. No errors charged to the Titans. No one left on base. We've played 5.5 innings of baseball. And the Hardhats now have a 12-1 lead over the Titans. We're going to take a quick step aside, folks. We will be right back with the bottom half of the sixth and the top of the Titans order coming up here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. trying to figure out this beautiful game of musical chairs that the game of baseball can become. Zach Sumption is now pitching for the Hardhats. It takes over for Zach Weitzel. What a start Weitzel had. 2 strikeouts, not a single base on balls. 1 run, it was not earned, on 3 hits in 5 innings pitched. And he did it all on 49 pitches. Brian Duran will lead off against Zach Sumption. Sumption is in his 2nd appearance on the mound. This is his 1st in relief. Sumption will take on the top of the Titans order. And the first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Duran, followed by David Anderson, the left-handed hitting right fielder, and Nick Anderson, the third baseman. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed. 1-1 now to Duran. We're trying to figure out who the mystery man in center field is. Taking over for Sumption. 1-1 pitch, misses low. 2-1 now to Duran. Duran is 1 for 2. Doubled in his most recent at-bat. Popped out to first in his first at-bat. 2-1 pitch. Misses low. It's 3-1, excuse me. 3 balls and a strike. Duran, the leadoff man. And now the 3-1. Swung on and just fouled off. And the count goes full. Sumption has 4 strikeouts on the year, has not issued a free pass, so that is in jeopardy on this next pitch. Payoff coming from Sumption. Dealt to Duran. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. There's his first strikeout in relief. 1 up, 1 down. That's going to bring up David Anderson. The lefty, 0 for 2 with an RBI groundout. And first pitch from Sumption. Swung on and missed. 0-1. No balls and a strike to count. Anderson grounded out to second in his first at-bat, to the pitcher's mound in his second at-bat. And the second one was an RBI. Next pitch missed low. Ball and a strike to count. 1-1 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left center. Our mystery man out in left center is on the run and makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats on defense. And that'll now bring us to Nick Anderson. And it looks like Weaver moved over to center. So that was Alex Weaver that made that play. So now it's who's our mystery man at left field. First pitch to Anderson, missed low and away for ball 1. By the way, I have to give a special shout out to some friends of Cooper Bowman listening all the way in New York, right across from Madison Square Garden, if I was told correctly, which I'm always a fan of that. I grew up a lifelong New York Rangers fan. Still to this day, bleed red, white, and blue. So hello to those listening in on Cooper Bowman. Next pitch is hit right up the middle. Sumption couldn't get the stop. Messenger does at second, and the throw to first is in time, and that will end the inning. It is a 1-2-3 inning for the Hardhats on defense. No runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. We have played 6 innings of baseball, and I believe that is the conclusion of this ball game. So we were playing a 7-inning game. The Hardhats win with the mercy rule invoked, a 12-1 final score. So a big win here for the Hardhats. We thought we had a 9-inning game on our hands. We clearly don't now, as this is exactly what is transpiring on the field. So with that being said, we're going to end how awkward this segue is, and we're going to kick it to commercial. We'll come back. We'll give you a complete recap on everything that happened and sign off and say so long until the all-important rivalry night, round 1, between Post 320 and Post 22 on Friday at Pete Lee. Stick around. You're listening to Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We're getting our final tabulation of statistics in at the moment. Post 22 takes the win by a whopping 12-1 score over the Titans. And it was an effort that this Hard Hats team needed. Coach Dorvey said he wanted the bats to come alive. He wanted the team to hit the ball. He got 12 runs. He got 10 hits. I'd say that's a great way to rebound after getting no hit against Cheyenne Post 6 on Sunday. Stats across the board for the Hard Hats. It was 12 runs on 10 hits with 1 error on defense. And for Sturgis, it was a run on 3 hits with 1 error. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, folks. Mark Benetti alongside you on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always, stream live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 looked like it was going to be deja vu all over again. Through 3 innings, they were down 1-0. They didn't have a hit. They didn't have a base runner. And then the top of the 4th happened. And the team, 2 consecutive innings, batted through the entire lineup, starting off with that top of the 4th. Connor King led things off with a walk. Matt Hegre knocked him in with an RBI double. Cooper Bowman followed that up with an RBI single. And then after 2 retirements, it was an RBI double, a single, a base on balls, and then a pop out to second that ended the inning. The Hard Hats only got 3 runs out of it, but they were aggressive. They were imposing their will offensively in that case. So now it's a narrow 3-1 game. We go to the top of the 5th, and that's when the roof really blew off the stadium for the Hard Hats. Another leadoff walk for Connor King. Matt Hegre this time struck out, but Cooper Bowman had an RBI single. Jack Sorensen had a single. Alex Weaver walked. Sumption had a sac fly RBI. Jace Caldwell had a 2-base error that knocked in 2 runs. And then Ryan Schmidt hit an RBI triple, and the Hard Hats just went off. It was 5 runs on 3 hits in that inning with 1 error charged to Sturgis. And that gave the Hard Hats an 8-1 lead after 5 innings. They needed to put the icing on the cake if they wanted to invoke the mercy rule in this game, and in the 6th inning, did it again. Branson Keel, his first hit as a Hard Hat, led off with a double, came around to score. Mason Messenger pinch hit. He doubled. Cooper Bowman, he had an RBI double. Jake Goebel, his first hit as a Hard Hat, a 2-run RBI triple. And the Hard Hats were able to get another 4 runs on the board, followed by Alex Weaver's RBI groundout, to eventually take the 12-1 win. Drew Odell started off the game for Sturgis, and he had a fantastic start going. He had 25 pitches in 3 innings, but then a 26-pitch 4th inning that he did not complete was what did him in at the end of the day. He finished with a strikeout and a walk and 3 earned runs on 3 hits in 3 2/3 innings on 51 pitches. And then Gage Murphy came in for an inning and a third of relief. He had 4 walks and 61. Weitzel gets his 2nd win of the season with the Hard Hats. He pitched the first 5 innings of the ball game, and on 49 pitches, he was just spectacular. 49 pitches in 5 innings of work for Zach Weitzel. 320 and Post 22, the first of 2 matchups in back-to-back weeks. The Hard Hats will take on Post 320 on Friday night at Pete Lean Field, and they come in with a ton of momentum under their belt after this 12-1 win and what is now a 10-3 start. Final numbers across the board one more time for the Hard Hats. It was 12 runs on 10 hits with 1 error. And for the Sturgis Post 33 Titans, it was 1 run on 3 hits with 1 error in the field. Folks, thanks so much for joining us for our broadcast. Again, Friday night, you can't miss it. It is rivalry night. I'm going to have the head coach of the Rapid City Rush, Daniel Tatro, my broadcast partner formerly with the Rush hockey team. He's going to come and call the game with us. For those that don't know, Coach Tatro back in the day was prospected by the Toronto Blue Jays at one point to play Major League Baseball. He decided he wanted to play hockey instead, had a fantastic junior hockey career, and then was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens back in 1997. So Coach Tatro is going to call the Post 320 game with me on Friday night. I urge all of you to tune into the game and get to the game as well. So fun to see the Rapid City rivalry under the lights on a Friday. Thanks again so much for joining us. Our broadcast will begin just before 7 o'clock on Friday at Pete Lane Field. For all of us with the Hard Hats organization, from General Manager Wayne Sullivan to Kelvin Torvey and company, and to our good friends at Halgo Broadcasting, Chris Algo and Ian Rambo, this is Mark Benetti saying so long and good night, and we'll see you Friday for Rivalry Night between Post 320 and your Post 22 Hard Hats.